To be born English is to win first prize in the lottery of life. So said Cecil Rhodes, one of the grandfathers of British imperialism. At its height, the British Empire ruled over 1/4 of the world's population, and consequently exported Englishness to the furthest reaches of the globe. But what is Englishness? Is it stiff upper lips and fair play, village greens and tea and crumpets? And who are the English? Are we defined by a shared heritage, a common set of beliefs, by the language of Shakespeare? Or in a multicultural modern age, when more languages are spoken in England than in any other country in Europe, do we need to develop a new view of what it means to be English? To discuss and define the nature and characteristics of the English, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, graduate of the University of Warwick, an award-winning writer.
Thank you for having me.
And Karl Pilkington, a man who, by his own admission, didn't go to school, has no qualifications.
Mention the head, talk about the head.
I'm just trying to get to the point that he's not qualified in anything, or really has no authority in any subject, or hasn't got the right to it. And it was known the world over as a man who has a head like a fucking orange.
Alright.
I think one thing that's very English is harping back and whinging combined. People saying, oh, England used to be better in my day, oh, England was better when I was a kid, England was better in the 50s or whatever. Karl, do you think England's better now? Are you happier now than you were when you were a kid?
Do you feel that life was better in, say, the 1950s?
I don't know, I wasn't around.
So but you understand what it was like in those days? You've seen happy days.
I don't know, people always say, don't they, old people always say, oh, you know, it's a better life in the 50s. And he's like, yeah, it was for them. Of course it was for them. They're old now. Being old isn't great, is it? So you're just happy with your lot. I suppose I was happiest in about 1984.
Quite a specific year.
Why? Why was that?
It was just I was free and happy.
How old were you?
I don't know.
He's just counting on his fingers now.
12.
Right, okay.
And it was just good.
So the happiest days of your life were between the age of 12 and 13?
Yeah, it was good. I had the world ahead of me.
Little did you know your hair was going to fall out and you were going to whinge every minute of the day.
I had my bike. I like messing about my bike. You had your mates. I had a pet magpie.
So you were probably the teenager that you eventually hate?
Probably.
Were you a good lad, law-abiding?
I wasn't bad. I just sort of, you know, just potted about. I mean, when people talk about what was on the telly back then, I don't have that much memory of it because I was always out. I was always playing out.
What were you doing when you were out?
Just playing about, just like on a bike or...
Just riding in a circle endlessly through blizzards,
I loved it.
Rain, sleet,
loved
hail.
It. I never seemed to be in. I was always... When everyone always goes, where were you when Band-Aid was happening? I was always out on my bike. And everything was like...
you and McGregor?
A memory's always sort of like coming in for some orange and looking at the telly and seeing Princess Diana's getting married, and my mum says, have you seen this? And I'm going, oh, I'm going out on my bike. I was always doing that. The only time I was in the house...
This is why you don't know anything, because you never stopped.
Yeah, but this is what being a kid's about.
But
That's
all
what
the
I mean, being
information
free.
you have, Karl, is as though you've gleaned it as you raced by on a bike. It's almost like, you know, every piece of information you have.
Your hair blowing in the wind. Karl, your hair will blow out one day. Oh, don't talk stupid, ma'am.
So yeah, 12 to 13 was good.
But you see...
And it was all downhill from then, was it?
13 is your teenager then, aren't you? Life got tough.
Yeah, how did it get tough?
Just straight away when I was 13, my mum was like, you know, oh, it's your 13th birthday, you're a teenager now.
Right.
And she gave us a quid to go and get a cake to celebrate it. Went to the supermarket, got a cake, and I just thought, I don't like the look of this. Don't like the look of the way the future is here.
On his 13th birthday!
Well, you were buying a cake. What did you see in the supermarket?
It was kind of like, I don't know, I suddenly felt grown up. I didn't like it.
But I think you were always about 58, really, with your outlook.
Well, yeah, my mum always said I was old. She said I was an old baby. She said I could frown before I could walk. So they always had a bit of a worried look on my face. Didn't say much, just always listened. My eyes moved about more than I did. Just sat there looking around, looking stressed.
My eyes moved about more than I did. Oh dear, couldn't walk. Well, I can't walk, but I'll try and get a bit of movement in my face. It's a workout, a baby workout. Oh, babies, well, if you can't walk, what about your face? Let your face do the walking.
It sounds like that horror film. It sounds like Pilkington's Baby.
Yeah.
Just you lying there in your cot.
I didn't like all the stuff that's set up for you. Like, me mum tried to send me to, like, a nursery. I said, no, I'm not having this.
Just like that.
I said when I'm older and I've got to go, I'll go, but let's leave out this bit. And she said, all right. She was,
I love the fact that he could reason with her. I love if he's 3 years old with a pipe. She's going, you're going to nurse. She goes, I think not, Mum.
I mean, kids don't play out, do they? Kids, parents are scared to let the kids play out, and that's why the streets are dangerous now. Because no one's playing out on the streets. Whereas when I was a kid, everyone was out on the streets were safer. Because there was more people knocking about.
Right.
Let the kids play out.
It must be like a constant, like a Lowry painting, his front garden, do you know what I mean? Just loads of people just
there was
walking
never
around.
any problems. I was sort of taken away by some fella.
What?
What?
No, I was playing about in the garden.
Yeah.
But my dad's mate, Tony, he did tiling with him. He drove past. And he saw me looking a bit fed up, so he just leant over, picked me up, took me to the pub. Now, the thing is, there wasn't panic. People weren't going, oh, God, where's Karl gone?
He's out.
Just...
How old were you?
He's staying in the pub.
Yeah,
He's 4 years old, yeah. Well, he's only having a...
He's down the pub with Tony, probably playing darts.
Yeah, I was about 3 or 4.
Sorry, so some bloke drives by who happens to be a friend of your dad's, thinks that baby looks grumpy.
Yeah.
I'm taking him down to the pub.
That's what it was
Tony,
like.
you bringing a baby to the pub? Yeah, I might do, yeah, we're all bringing ours. Alright, see you later, mate.
But that's what I'm saying, whereas now they go, the baby's gone, there's a big full-on panic going on.
But I think it says more about your parents. They didn't do that. They looked over the back car and you were gone. Some bloke's driving off in a van. They're just going, oh, well, doesn't Princess Diana look lovely? This is absurd. So what happened when you got down the pub?
I just was there for a bit, and then...
For a bit, just had a game of pool.
Then my dad came in, he was like, oh, there you are.
Oh, there you are! I love that! Where's my baby? I'm just going to have a quick pint. Oh, there you are. Alright, mate.
So, yeah, I think things were better back then.
Rick, as you hinted at in your introduction, the idea of Englishness and England, it's quite a vague term, isn't it? You can play loose and fast with it. I mean, for instance, I was looking at some quotes about England, and John Major, former Prime Minister, he typified England as being a place of long shadows on county cricket grounds, warm beer, invincible green suburbs, dog lovers, and old maids bicycling through the morning mist. Very specific vision of England.
But he never came to the estate that I was born on, or Karl was, you know what I mean? I think, I know of that. If we go for a walk around Richmond, we see people playing cricket on the village green, and it's lovely, but I don't know if it's typical. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where most people live. But in a way, it's probably 50-50, isn't it, in cities and in the country, but that's wealthy country.
But that's, interestingly, that's the vision of England that people like to subscribe to. When you buy your nan a box of biscuits for Christmas from Harrods, that's the image of England that's on the front.
Why am I spending money at Harrods on my nan? Well, why can't I just, she's happy with sort of like broken custard creams.
You've earned a bit of money now.
Well, I know, but they don't need to know that. I mean, also, both my grandmothers are dead, so it'd be
Sorry to have brought that up.
Well, no, but I mean, who buys who spends good money at Harrods on biscuits where she just suck them and eat the Garibaldis and leave I mean, I don't know why I'm wasting money on the elderly.
I worry that you've taken that too literally. I was trying to get to making more of a point, like an analogy, but I don't shop at Harrods.
Right.
Please, I mean, I might, get some Easter eggs. 2 days after Easter.
Well, what do you think of this then? We were in Fortnum & Mason's after Christmas, and all the crackers were half price.
Good idea.
And there was a box of crackers for 500 quid, down to 250 quid. And I thought, right, that's got to be the best prizes anyone's ever seen. I'm going to get Cartier watches in these things. So we bought 250 quid. I thought, oh, it's a bargain, it's half price. Got them home, pulled a couple, and there was a little notebook, right, that said wine notes. That's one.
What?
Wine notes. So you drink a bottle of wine and
you'd make a note.
Make a note of it, right? There was another one that had something that it was like opera notes or something. And then there was one for, travel notes, like what country you been. I'm thinking, what world are these crackers for? Who's putting a cracker and going, I needed it, I filled up my, wine notes book. It's like,
500 quid?
Yeah. I mean,
for some little notebooks.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd have paid 500 quid, I mean, I don't know who buys those. I assume they're for presents.
And it's probably the absurd, cliched Toffington Englishman,
Yeah.
who has no sense anymore of what of any sense of worth of anything, and it's just a crazy, snotty-nosed inbreeding.
There was a silver-plated like mussel, like the clam, the mussel, right? When you eat mussels, you scoop them out with an open mussel.
Sure.
There's a silver-plated one.
Who carries that with them?
You get that out. You go, all mussels. Good. I brought it with me. My silver-plated mussel to eat mussels.
Wait, this wine's delicious. Let me make a note. That's absurd. But again, it's interesting you said that, because those are little images of what we would like England to be, aren't they? They're pandering to that image of what we'd all like to be, that sort of upper-class English person who's worried about fine wine and good food. And again, I mean, does this England still exist? I'm presuming there's a small minority that does. But
well, there are some people that are in that world that are posher than the royal family.
Yeah.
I can understand what the Queen and Prince Charles are saying, but there are some people... What? And I don't know what they're talking about either.
Well, I was never really aware of class and the English class system until I went to university.
Absolutely.
I became aware of it then.
Absolutely right. When I got to university and everyone sort of spoke like royalty, that's when I discovered I was probably working class.
But when I hear those people who do actually speak in that kind of, oh, Jeff, that sort of absurd, oh, rugger, oh, you absolute bloody bastard.
What though? I don't mind the mega posh people. I don't mind the, bloody hell, yeah, of course, take one. I don't mind one of those. What I don't like is the ones that, stand around in all bar one with a rugby shirt with a collar up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those sort of, who are going to work in the city, and they're loud and think they're gentry, but they're not. It's that middle bit that annoys me more. They've got that confidence, but without any of the charm.
But that's the England that I think people think of when they think of it. It's the 4 weddings and a funeral England, and yet it's not the England I experienced and grew up in. So, what is your typical image of an Englishman now?
If I had to draw it for an alien, he'd be quite squat, quite sturdy, sort of no neck. Hairy.
Are you just thinking of yourself?
Do you know what? It would be my build with Carl's head.
Really?
And no neck, yeah. I think he's sort of balding and unshaven, and, he's like a shaved caveman. I think he's tough, he'd have tats, he'd eat like a dog.
A Ray Winston type.
A sort of, that sort of,
and he's
Bob Hoskins, just squat, strong, tough, doesn't take any messing, built like a giant wombat.
It's the bulldog breed.
It is the bulldog breed. I am thinking of the bulldog breed, yeah.
See, now my image of an Englishman is essentially that cliched one. It is, I think, Hugh Grant.
So you're modern, you're straight away modern now.
I would say it's either mixed between Hugh Grant and Roger Moore when he was James Bond.
You see, that's another small percentage of Englishness that sort of annoys me. Those people that think they're James Bond, they think they can buy a suit and read GQ, and they're suave and sophisticated, and they get cars they can't afford, or what they basically do, the people who think they're James Bond, all they do is work in a bank, come home, and flick through GQ at the adverts, looking at people with wearing watches, and aftershave. Who wears aftershave?
Do you wear aftershave, Carl?
Normally, aftershave is the sort of thing I let other people buy me. It's like underpants. Underpants, tea towels, and sort of aftershave and that. Other people buying me.
Who's buying you tea towels?
My mum.
Right, okay.
Every time she turns up, she's got Brilla pads and stuff. I've got loads of them. I keep saying to her, I don't need any of this, but she always brings a box full of stuff. Brilla pads, tea towels, underpants. The underpants size hasn't gone up since I was 14. But I can rely on her for that.
So do you not have anything in your life which you would think of as being gentlemanly? Do you ever dress smartly? What about suits?
I bought one suit that time when you invited me to the BAFTAs. That's the only suit. I wore it for the BAFTAs. I think I wore it for one other thing. I haven't wore it since. I don't feel comfortable. It's not me.
But don't you go to a wedding?
That'd be a lovely advert, wouldn't it? Him with a suit on going, I haven't wore it since. Karl Pilkington hasn't wore it since.
I don't go to weddings. No, I don't like going to them.
I agree.
I mean, even though you know them, they don't give you any time when you're there, do they? They just they don't know whether you're there or not. They're on cloud 9. They don't know who's around. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be there.
With them, on a wedding day, it's all me, isn't it?
Oh, what are they like?
I know, unbelievable.
You don't even get to make a speech, do you?
Although I know you were annoyed, Steve. Steve doesn't like to part with money. I don't know what the politically correct term is. Stingy cunt, isn't he? He's fucking mean. And if he ever has to spend out on like a wedding gift to someone he's known, you know, all his life, he'll look down the list and he'll find things under £25. Then if he bothers spending that much, he's furious when an usher goes, just stick it there.
Oh, it drives me insane. Well, firstly, I'm annoyed about the wedding list. I don't know when that's come along, because I don't know why I can't just bring maybe something I've made at home. No. Why has there got to be a list of stuff?
What newly married bride doesn't want a pair of homemade clogs?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And then you arrive there and it's just, oh, thanks very much, stick it on the table. But saying that, I think people very much appreciate you being at their wedding.
No,
they do. They remember if you were there.
No, they don't.
They do.
They don't.
You don't get invited to weddings because you ain't got any mates.
No, I've got to know enough people. Everyone's getting married. But they're always in the middle of nowhere.
That annoys me when people say, you come to our wedding? Yeah, fine, we're in Greece.
Yeah.
Well, no, down the road, I might make it down the road for the reception.
Yeah.
Go to what? You want me to book a holiday and come to your wedding?
Well, the thing that drives me insane when you do go is when they put you on a table with people you don't know.
Well,
I've got all my mates there, and they put, because I got to mingle with some people. I don't care, I need these.
But that's what I'm not good at, talking to people once. Talking to people who you don't know.
No.
What sort of stuff would you make conversation about at a wedding?
I'd probably say, first of all, how do you know them? How do you know the people getting married? And then, like, do you think it'll last?
Imagine inviting Karl Pilkington to wedding and going, where should we put him? Oh, I don't know. Is there a table for one? Oh, just
you'd be on the table with the kids.
Imagine being stuck with Karl Pilkington at a wedding. Yeah, what else? So you've asked them to think it'll last. They've gone, I'm sorry? Who are you? Karl Pilkington from Manchester. Right. Yes, we think it'll last. What else would you ask? So what's your next? You know it's going badly. They're sort of like looking down their nose at you. They're thinking, why did they invite this bald-headed scum?
There's just the last wedding I went to, it's going back a couple of years, but everyone seems a bit snidey. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got a mixture of families there, haven't you?
Yeah.
And none of them really like each other. No. And I got stuck with an old fella who had a flatulence problem.
That sounds fun.
And then he went on to say it doesn't matter, the suit's hired. And it's just kind of...
I'm gonna die! I
just don't like him.
I love it, he's basically saying at a wedding, it doesn't matter if I shit myself. To be born English is to win first prize in the lottery of life. So what do you think of that, Karl?
Maybe it's that thing that I don't appreciate what I've got. But to me, being English isn't anything that great.
Really?
Why not?
Because it's just what I've been dealt with.
But what would you, I mean, I know you know nothing about the world.
You've travelled nowhere. You've seen nothing.
Yeah. But if you could be any nationality, what would you be and why?
Probably be Italian.
Okay. Why?
Well, just, yeah, I like the idea of it. I like Italians are alright.
Where would you live? Rome?
I probably wouldn't want to be in the middle of Rome. It's too much hassle.
Have you been to Rome?
Yeah, it's nice to visit and stuff, but it's just I wouldn't want to live there. You've got to get paperwork done and that if you just want to put a picture up, because everything's old. Everything's listed.
He's only been Italian about 3 minutes and he's already slacking it off.
He's already
whinging. But I like Rome.
Yeah.
It's good. A lot of old stuff.
Why have you chosen Italy? I'm interested to know why of all the countries you've chosen Italy.
I was a late comer to pasta.
But it's one year round.
I like it now. It's like one of my favourite things I have. Which there isn't really anything like that in England. That, even though it's...
Well, except pasta.
Pasta's almost exactly like it.
Yeah, we've got pasta, haven't we?
It's not ours though, is it? And we don't know how to eat it.
What do you mean we don't know how to eat it?
We do it all wrong.
You stick it up your arse again.
Look at me, I know how to fucking eat it.
No, but what I mean is, if you saw a proper Italian, and they saw what we did to pasta, they would not be happy.
What are we doing wrong? Tell me what we're doing wrong with
Well, I
pasta.
don't know that, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it wrong.
How do you know we're doing it wrong?
I've just heard we do it wrong. It's like how we have the coffee at all the wrong times. I ordered a cappuccino somewhere and the Italian fella said you shouldn't be having that now, it's a breakfast coffee.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Before 12 o'clock,
yeah. But I was having it at like 11:15 at night.
Oh, wow.
Like
that's absurd. How are you going to get to sleep with a lovely cup of coffee?
Yeah, that's
well,
I
don't sleep anyway,
You shouldn't drink coffee anyway at night. There was cappuccino or frappuccino or mocha. Doesn't matter. Don't drink coffee after about 4 in the afternoon anyway, full stop.
So, hang on, so you love pasta, but you're not eating it right, so you'd like to be Italian in order to be able to eat pasta correctly. Even though you enjoy the pasta you
What
eat.
do you feel being Italian is, and what's attractive
It's
to being...
just very sort of, it's a relaxed lifestyle. Whenever you go to Italy, everyone's sat outside a cafe. It doesn't matter what sort of person
Carl,
you are.
that's all you do now with your spare time is
Yes.
sit outside a cafe.
But they get more respect over there. For
Why?
it. It's like, it's okay to do that. There's older people sat outside cafes who do nothing.
I
and it's
love
just
the fact that he
they're
wants to
probably
be
retired.
Italian so he can sit outside a cafe and get more respect than he does now sitting outside a cafe.
No, but everyone's rushing about here. People have, like, colder coffee. They have frappuccinos here because they haven't got time to have a hot coffee. It's like they've got a coffee with icing so I can neck it. Get it down my neck and get on with my day. Relax, enjoy your coffee. I don't understand the rush.
You never enjoy anything. You say that you don't enjoy anything. You don't enjoy a coffee. When you're having a coffee, you're probably going, oh, I don't know if I can enjoy it yet, in retrospect. And tomorrow I'll go, I like that coffee yesterday.
But the reason you enjoy Italy is because when you were there, you're on holiday. That's why you're able to chill out and relax.
No.
When you say it's old people sat in some little Sicilian village, of course they got no money.
Here, I went to the Salvation Army.
Right.
Why?
Because it's nice.
What do you mean?
You can get toast and a cup of tea for £1.
Go, you little skinflint.
Right.
You little roundy
There's
heady
nothing
Scrooge.
skinflinty about that. That's just, that should be the going rate, Steve. I'm surprised I haven't seen you in there, to be honest. But the thing is...
Where is it?
Now, just near Camden.
What is it? Is it like old people?
A lot of old people, mainly old people. And this is what I'm saying. These are people who are old and they sat in a cafe, but they don't get any respect. People are walking past and they don't want to go in. The way you reacted when I said I was in the Salvation Army, that's the reaction they get. Yet an old Italian person, they looked after better.
Well, it's certainly true they look after their older families, don't they? They
Right,
do
and
respect
that's
the
all I'm
family.
saying. Whereas, I mean, it's a lovely place, Salvation Army. Every old fella in there's got a tie on.
Yeah.
They make an effort.
That chokes me when I see an old boy still put a shirt and tie on. He's 90. He's like been through hardship, and yet on a Sunday they still shine their shoes, and you know what I mean.
I mean, you sometimes can't even bother to put your trousers on or something.
I know. Mine got an elasticated waistband,
Yeah.
and they're still fiddling with braces and buttons.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's what I like about Italians and that. There's a lot of...
So you want to
Respect.
be Italian because when you're old, you can sit outside a cafe and get more respect than you do here.
Yeah, look at the old people in this country. They never look happy, do they, really? Most of the time, when you see them walking around, they go to pot. No one's keeping an eye on them.
Well, it's an important thing, isn't it? That my mum, this is when she was about 60, 65. There was a neighbour who was, 85, 90. And, again, completely alone. And my mum used to go on there every day. Do you want any shopping? Do it, right? She was good for her. She was like her witness in the world, you know, to her existence. But I remember calling her once, and, she'd come back. I said, what are we doing? She went, oh, I've been round so-and-so. So I went, all right. She went, oh, she won't die, Rick. Like, she's helping her, but she's thinking, this is getting silly now. You were meant to go years ago here. I was like,
Well, that's the problem, you know. If you get pally with an old person,
Yeah.
then you could be stuck with them for years.
and having to do stuff, you know, that's what you don't want to do, isn't it? You meet an old fella, and then you've got to start, popping in his sort of piles or whatever when he can't do them himself. You know, what do you do? If you're...
It depends how friendly you are, though. I mean, I'm just talking about someone you meet at the bus stop, as opposed to popping the piles back in. How does that happen? Jesus. Just the ones on the estate I grew up on. As soon as he got to a certain age, there was Mrs. Knowles who went mental. One day she seemed fine, next day she was chucking cans in everyone's garden. You could just hear her coming. Which was weird. Aren't you? Now you brought up weird people. There was a fellow called Shorts Man. Right?
It's so pedestrian! I love that!
Shortest man wore some shorts.
Now, what I like, yeah, he did, but they were really short. They were that sort where, you know, it's almost pointless having them on.
What do you mean?
They were just, you know, like shorts now for blokes. They go up to your knees, don't they? There's no chance. There's no accident happening there. There's
Go on.
nothing going to pop out.
Yeah.
No.
But Shorts Man, he liked it. He liked the fact that happened. And he
Right.
used to walk with big strides to sort of help the chance along. So that he knew, with the big strides and the short shorts,
Yeah.
they were going to pop out.
Did you ever see it pop out?
Yeah.
Why were you
everyone
looking at
did.
the shorts?
Just because it was like playing Buckaroo. It was like, when are they going to pop out?
But what?
It's just what happened.
So, right, but Shorts Man, so he was an exhibitionist, he basically wanted people to see his veg.
Yeah. And they were out more than they were in. I mean, they had a tan. Right? Now the thing is, what we like in England, I think we like that. We like local characters.
The eccentric.
Yeah.
Eccentric's that's very British, eccentric,
I'm glad I grew up round there with all them people, because they're interesting.
Well, there is a certain mindset about the great English, certainly the older English people. I mean, my grandparents are, my grandfather died recently, but they're amazing kind of eccentric, very English, seemingly no friends from what I can identify. I don't know if this is unique to them or true of a lot of English people, older people, terrified of what the neighbours might say. Always did that thing of speaking like that in case what Jack said next door.
Yeah.
Like the neighbours are constantly listening in. They've got glasses against the wall, they're constantly listening into what my gran's got to say.
Yeah.
They had about 3 teeth between them. It was extraordinary. My grandfather had a plate of false teeth during the war that had a wooden pallet. A wooden upper pallet with teeth on it. And those teeth slowly fell off during the course of the years. Never got replaced. So they'd sort of invite you to Sunday roast, and they would wake up at 6 in the morning to put the beef on, and they wouldn't have it till 6 in the evening. They would cook it. The biggest compliment you could have, if you made some food for my gran, if it was some beef, would be, "Oh, you're so lovely, this, so tender, you can suck it away." If you could suck your Sunday roast through a straw, she was happy.
Well, yes, she didn't have any teeth.
Right, exactly. Basically, they got to about the age of 60 or something, and it was as though they were just waiting to die. It was strange. They lived for my grandfather lived for at least another 25 years. So it was, you must have been gutted. But when my father needed a winter coat, a big heavy winter coat, and he was thinking of buying one, and my gran said, "Oh, don't worry about that, Ron. You can have your father's winter coat." And he said, "Well, but he's still alive. What do you talking about? He needs it winter coat." She went, "No, he'll be dead soon. Just don't, silly to waste it. Seems to waste it, just wait." My father must have been waiting 10 years for that winter coat.
I love the fact he waited. You can see where Steve got it from.
Of course he
waiting.
Stupid, I'm waiting now.
Steve, you must be freezing.
I am cold, but I'll tell you, it's a lovely coat.
In English society, traditionally and now, is manners. I mean, obviously manners change, but what is etiquette? What is good manners? I think that a lot of that has been lost.
Well, I was thinking the other day, have you ever heard of the finishing school?
Yeah.
Carl?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know that?
No.
The idea is that, the sort of gentrified ladies, after they finished their education, they would go to finishing school, where they would literally be taught, how to...
knives and forks, walking with a book on your head, just things like that, what to say.
I mean, that's
it's like a year of being Eliza Doolittle, isn't it? Don't put your elbows on the table. You start from outwards, going inwards with cutlery. You eat soup, the spoon goes away. There's things like the fork. You're never meant to face those prongs up. So you either stab your peas, or
There's ways of eating soup. The spoon needs to be moving away from you.
Yeah.
And scooping it up and bring it back to your mouth. I mean, it's crazy, but, the people that subscribe to that stuff would look at the way you live your life, the way you eat your food, Carl, and would be appalled.
Yeah, but
in the same way we think that's absurd, they would think you're a disgrace.
But as long as you're enjoying it.
No, they would say no.
Well, no, there are certain things that I can't stand. I can't stand eating with the mouth open. I think that's rude. I banned chewing gum on the set of a film, because I think it's rude. I think it's rude. Those people who stand there talking, Yeah,
but we all know you're a preposterous hypocrite. I mean, the way you eat food, come on.
No, I don't eat with my mouth open. I don't, I do eat with just my right hand, mash it and scoop it in, but I see nothing wrong with that.
I would say it was slightly rude when you're ordering the bill and getting up to leave when I'm still finishing my main course.
Yeah.
I'd say there was a touch of rudeness.
But I go into a restaurant to eat.
Yeah, but you're supposed to wait when you're with the other people and let them finish as well.
This is my ideal restaurant. It is empty. They know what I want, and it's waiting for me when I walk in. I leave, still chewing, and I go put it on my bill. That's the ideal restaurant for me.
Yeah. You're pretty much there.
Yeah, I try and, that's what I try and do, yeah. But, there are certain things, I am one for manners. I think, I hate rudeness, I hate lateness, I hate all those things, but some of them are ridiculous. The elbows on the table is arbitrary. Why? I mean, there's a reason you say please and thank you, because it shows courtesy. those make sense. There's a reason you don't talk when you're eating, because it goes over and it's disgusting. There's a reason you don't lick your fingers and then put it back in the chips, because someone else has got to share that. But don't put your elbows on the table or start with that fork. I think it's ludicrous.
You know, there's those rules when you meet a member of the royal family. For instance, if you were at the Royal Variety Performance and you met the Queen, there's various rules they tell you about.
You don't fart, I'll call her love.
Exactly, for one. But also, you don't speak until you're spoken to. You have to do a slight bow.
I was invited to the palace a couple of times. The first time was after the office sort of broke, and I got an invite, company of Her Majesty the Queen would like you to come to one of those dinner parties, and I know what you're thinking, why didn't you get one?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Well, wait, I was a big shot quicker than you, because I was in it. Don't forget, you didn't appear until, series 2.
If we'd split the atom, they would invite both of us. Not just the guy who does the press conference.
So, the thing came through, and I thought, I was worried about it, to be honest. But it just said, I will be attending, I will not be attending. Tick the box. And I couldn't bear to just tick, I will not be attending, because it was too harsh. So there was a RSPV number, and I phoned up, and it was obviously the head of the house, or a butler, or I don't know, someone, and he went, hello, Buckingham Palace. And I said, hello, it's Ricky Gervais, I just got an invite to come and I said, it sounds weird, but I couldn't bear to just tick, I will not be attending. He went, well, you're the first person ever to bother to do that. Thank you so much. I went, my pleasure, sorry I can't make it. But don't you think that's weird?
It is strangely brutal.
It is strangely brutal, isn't it? I wonder if they've changed it by now.
Yeah, there's a little asterisk, thanks to Ricky Gervais, it now says, I am too fat and lazy and busy eating cheese to visit your majesty.
What I think is this, that no one's ever ticked, I will not be attending.
Right, yeah.
So it was never a problem.
So why did you not want to go?
I don't know, I just thought it was a bit intense, and I turned down all those things. I think I would like to go now, just to look around.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just felt a bit funny, just being invited there. I was invited to all those things at Downing Street as well, and I just thought, you're inviting me because I'm on the telly now, because I'm famous. Well, where was my invite when I was on the dole?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
With respect, I wouldn't have invited you circa 1983.
No, I haven't got a problem with, going to the palace or, except I do have a problem with sort of being wheeled around as a celebrity.
Because I used to think if I was ever invited to get given an MBE or a knighthood or something, I'd be like, nah, I'm not part of the system, I'm a rebel, I'm outside. Now I think it would be quite cool.
Well, I only think it's a problem for a comedian, because, we're sort of meant to dish it out, and it's difficult to dish it out if you're being seen. What
I do find weird is the idea of having to bow and scrape before people because I'm told to do that. Well, what I find is that idea of I'm obligated to be respectful to such a degree just because someone's the Queen. Like, obviously I'd always be respectful, but why can't I speak when she turns up? I don't understand. That's what I find a strange idea.
What would you say, though?
Well, I just say, honoured to meet you, Majesty, but, I don't understand why I can't initiate that. Why? I
don't think she'd mind that. If you went, honoured to meet you before she'd spoken, what she's gonna say? She's gonna go, cheeky cunt. I talks first, lanky. Karl, what do you think about all the pomp and circumstance around,
It's all alien. It's not for me. I don't like that sort of, I try and not put myself in the same sort of circles as posh people, because it's just it's like a different club, isn't it? It's like I said to you about young people and old people. There's such a different life going on. They say like the whale and the hippo are related. You never see them together. And it's the same with really posh, well-off people and someone who's just getting on with their life.
But I mean, that's the thing that's changed as well. The stiff upper lip thing, that's out of the window now. I mean, it's like everyone's got a new addiction. Everyone's, I'm addicted to drugs, alcohol. I'm addicted to sex. Not a problem, have a wank. And everyone's got depression now.
Can you be addicted to sex if you're not getting any? Because if that's the case, then...
Oh Oh dear.
Do you think there's a big difference, Carl, between the Englishman of yesteryear who didn't complain? I mean, he just got on with things. He might have whinged about the weather and the like, but he just got on with things.
He carried an umbrella.
Yeah.
He didn't
Whereas
whinge about
nowadays,
anything.
people are getting their Prozac and their antidepressant pills, they're going into therapy.
Yeah, he kept out of stuff as well. Just there was a war and so and so. Alright. They're coming this way. If they come over here, give them a slap. Why are we getting involved now in everything? Thoughts on that, Carl?
It's news now, innit? Sometimes I think, don't tell me, don't want to know. Just get on with it. Whoever's job that is, get on with it.
Yeah.
Why am I being told about it? When I've got a problem in my job, no one else knows. No one helps me out and goes, well, I've got an opinion for him.
No.
This might help him. No one helps me. But I'm being bombarded by everyone else's hassle. They love talking, actually. That's what the English do. Talking, but they never finalise it. They love just being in the meeting room, talking, saying, yeah, we could do this, we could do that. I'm the only one in that room not getting paid. Everyone else is on a wage. I'm there looking at my watch, thinking, right, I've been here for an hour and nothing's been sorted. They're looking, thinking we can drag this out for another half hour, get us to lunch. That's what annoys me. They're all sat there just pushing bullshit around the room like dung beetles. I'm sick of it. And that's what the English do. And it's a shame, because I don't think they used to be like that. I wish everybody just sort of kept to themselves more. Like, you know, certain animals do. Just get on with it. It's like an old-fashioned way.
What animals keep
Well,
themselves?
any animals keep themselves to themselves.
Like what?
I've said loads of things.
What animals keep themselves?
Badgers.
Why do they keep themselves?
No, they just, whenever you've seen them and just sort of wandering about a roadside, they're on their own.
Right.
They're not sort of...
What are they doing?
In pairs. I don't know. Most of the time they're dead. I've seen more dead badgers than alive ones. I've never seen a live badger.
I don't know what his point was.
So that's why they're one alone and two getting on with it. I love it.
I love that. It started off as some kind of poetic analogy. I don't know what that was.
Most of the time.
I just,
Oh God. I like this thing of the Englishman I knew growing up, was, you had to, when you hit a certain age, when you hit like manhood or puberty or whatever, 13, 14, 15, you had to start showing your mettle. Then, the most important thing then was to, well, the worst thing to be growing up was gay. That was like, you couldn't be gay. It couldn't be gay. Anything but gay. And then you had to be hard. You had to be tough. I remember, right, when I first started going to pubs, right, so I don't know, say 18, you walk into a toilet, the urinals, and the first thing everyone did was fart and gob.
Yeah.
That was it, right?
Yeah,
if you couldn't do that, then, you know, you get funny looks. You know, you go in the urinal and they'd look at you and go, oh, sorry. It was all about, being a man. You know.
I think wearing glasses makes you slightly exempt from that. It's like you don't have to... People automatically dissociate. It's like if I was in prison, I wouldn't have to do that because I'd just be the professor.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Exactly,
Or brains.
yeah.
I would...
Yeah.
I
They'd
wouldn't
come
need
to
to
you
be part
with
of it. I'm never a threat because I never look like I'm going to be a tough guy. So consequently, I live in this sort of parallel stratosphere where I haven't got a piss and gob.
Yeah.
has that got more popular?
Yes.
Has it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people
gobbing?
doing it in the streets now.
Really?
It's like
not
avoiding-
in Hampstead.
It still is, you know. When I walk
The only
here,
person gobbing in Hampstead is me. Jane says, don't gob. People are looking.
well, it is. It's your trail that I'm seeing then. It's like a load of sort of washed up jellyfish in London. Just big blobs of it. I mean, I don't know how they're coughing this stuff up. I mean, they shouldn't still be alive. Some of them have, like, organs in them. It's just big lumps of stuff.
I mean, that list of idyllic, antiquated England of, you know, tea and cakes and cricket, I mean, is valid. But I think the things that sum up Englishness, I mean, talking of the weather, I think drinking, war, we love a ruck.
Yeah.
We're built on war. We're a warrior race.
We're pretty good at war. Or we used to
We
be.
are good.
We used to be good. I don't
Yeah,
know if we
no,
are
we're very
anymore.
good. We're good. We're very good. I mean, I think we reached our peak with Churchill,
Probably that's probably our greatest hour. Our finest hour.
according to him.
Yeah. Well, he should know he was there.
He should know. And he'd like to drink, didn't he? He loved a brandy.
He's not afraid of a drink.
He'd like to. He'd get pissed up, and no wonder he'd fight him on the beaches. He'd fight him anywhere.
Yeah.
See, there's an example of a posh bloke. It was like I was saying. He'd lead you into battle. He'll have a weapon too. He'd go in there. He didn't sit back. I mean, when he was old, he did. But nothing wrong with being posh if you're willing to go and, you know, get stuck in. What do you think, Carl?
Is it as scary though? I mean, imagine if he was rougher sounding, and he was on the front line. And,
like he went, you fucking little cunt. I'll fight you on the beach. See me down in Brighton Monday. I'm gonna fucking smack your head in, you little fucking German cunt. Like that, you mean?
Yeah.
It's less of a morale boost.
Well, that's the other point of one, isn't it? That those speeches were for as much as morale as information and defiance.
You don't want to feel like the leader of your country could glass you if you got on the wrong side.
No, exactly. It's got to be rules under war, hasn't it? I mean, that fair play has got to come into it as well. Talking of the English sense of fair play and war, when the crossbow was invented, a lot of people wouldn't use it. They said it was unchristian. So our soldiers sort of resisted it. So Europeans got this thing that needed no skill, and it was shooting these bolts, and they could reload quick, and versus our bowmen. What do you think of that? What do you think of going, oh, it's cheating, we won't use it, but having a disadvantage? That's honour, isn't it? It's almost like it's okay to kill someone, but with skill.
But what's the problem here? What am I meant to be worrying about?
Well, you've got bow and arrows. Yeah. They're amazing. They're heavy. They're your arms. They've got trained bowmen. They're skilled. The most skilled sort of marksman soldiers in the country. Someone comes along, goes, don't worry about that. Here's a crossbow. Just pop it in, put it back. Deadly, quick. Anyone can use it. So now you've got anyone with a crossbow killing people.
Women, children.
Anyone can use it. So the Europeans, they're going crazy. Oh, William Tell he's shooting apples off heads.
Yeah.
Right? But we resisted it because we thought it was, you know, unchristian and cheating to kill without skill. What do you think of that?
But where were the actual bows and that being made? Because that's the thing, isn't it? The company who's making them, they just want to get out to a big market.
Brilliant.
That's what they do now with the iPod and everything. It's not about people wanting more music than ever before. That's not the case. It's about having the accessory. And if the bow and arrow was like sold as this, you know, light to carry for all the family, that's how it would have happened. That's what it's all about.
Ye new bow and arrow from Ronco.
But what do you think the problem is?
But you're not quite getting Ricky's point. His point is the idea of there being sort of rules and fair play and etiquette in war. The objective is to kill the enemy.
I don't think war and that is a place to start getting all uppity about someone cheating or having a better system.
Really? You think all fair in love and war, do you?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. But
it's just about
rules,
winning.
Isn't it?
No, not in a war. There isn't rules.
So what about things like the Geneva Convention? It's the understanding that even if we're entering into a war, theoretically, there's a set of agreed
universal rules. It's good for both sides,
rules.
Isn't it? Fair play has got to come into everything.
What's extraordinary about the idea of English fair play is, you know, famously the approach during the First World War, that we would sort of walk up out of the trenches onto no man's land and sort of politely march at a slow, steady pace across towards the enemy. I mean, and then we were just being machine gunned down. I mean, it was absurd.
Well, I know we were fodder. It was fodder to use up some of their bullets. I mean, it was crazy.
I mean, it's madness. But in a way, it's the gentry who are leading us, seeing, you know, the average Tommy as a sort of, as cannon fodder.
Of course. And, you know, you've got to realise that most of the people didn't want to be there. Most of them didn't even understand it. I mean, and if you think of the first and second, you know, they were just wars, you know, but, I can't imagine what it'd be like.
Do you think, Carl, in a war situation? You've seen all those films of the,
I mean, that's the one they had a knockabout and stuff, didn't they? They took, the game of football and
in no man's land, yeah. Christmas Day.
But who took a football there? If I was on the front line, I would not be getting out the rule book. I can tell you that much. I'd be going mental.
Are you saying there should be some rules or no rules?
I mean, you've got to have some rules, otherwise it's just going to be like Grand Theft Auto, isn't it? I'm just going to go about battering everyone.
Yeah.
And you soon get bored of that.
Mm.
So I think you've got to have some rules.
Right.
Which rules would you repeal that already exist, that you don't like?
It's a shame you can't tip as much as you used to be able to.
You mean in a restaurant?
No, just when you're getting rid of a mattress or something.
So fly tipping, you'd like to see more fly tipping?
What do you mean? This is something so personal, he's fed up, he had to take something.
No, it's just that they used to put stuff outside the house, and just like, you had mattresses, you had sideboards, sewing machines. The thing is, it was a good way of recycling. Now, they say recycle, but we're not recycling, it's just being put in a bin.
So you'd like to see more fly tipping?
No, not, you see...
That's what we need in London, more rubbish.
This is the problem, you see. Look what's happened. Look what's happened to what I've said. It's been taken the wrong way.
Right.
I'm not saying tip. I'm not saying chuck your bin bags out the door and let crisp packets go everywhere. I'm saying if you've got old furniture, you should be allowed to leave it outside your house without the council going, move that, it's dangerous, someone's going to trip over it. Well, if they trip over it, you should have been looking where they're going.
Well, what if they're blind?
What?
What if they're blind? That's why you don't leave things out in the pavement, because blind people will fall over them and smack their face in.
What if a woman with a couple of kids in pushchairs has to go out into the road to get past your piece of junk?
And get crushed?
No, because I'm leaving it, I'm not leaving it on the pavement.
Well, you just said you were. Where are you leaving it?
Sort of outside the house.
Right.
In your front garden. Well, who's going to take it from there? That's just thieving.
No, sort of just...
Where are you leaving it? Where are you leaving it, Carl? You haven't established where you're leaving this yet. Because so far, a blind person's fallen over and broken his nose.
I've never seen a blind person trip over anything.
You've never seen a blind person trip over anything?
Definitely not. They're better on the feet than some people, because they're more cautious, aren't they?
So...
Make it more fun for them, if anything.
Why can't you just have this stuff collected by a second-hand shop, or
because
send
they won't,
it to
they
a
don't come,
charity?
Steve. Honestly, they don't. I've called up people and they're saying, yeah, we'll be there in an hour, and I say, right, I'm going to put it out on the street, and are you going to come and get it? Yeah, we'll be there. An hour passes by, they haven't been. Suddenly the council goes past.
On the floor, bloodied noses.
Then the council say, I call them up, do you want to shift it? Well, we might, but don't know when. Well, it's outside the house now. Well, you can't leave it there, it's your responsibility, you'll have to stay with it. Suddenly I'm wasting time sat outside the house with rubbish that someone else might want. But you're not allowed to leave there, because a blind person might come along. What's the dog doing?
What do you make of St. George, the patron saint? What's your take on that?
Is he the one who killed a dragon?
Right. Tell us the story.
There was a dragon problem.
Where?
Must have been in England.
Right.
George took it on, he took on the job, he was like a rent-a-kill. He came out. The interesting thing with him is, right, he was a hero then. I honestly think if he did that now, there'd be an uproar. Because it's the last dragon. It's the same way we try to save the panda and all that now. If he came out and said, I've done it, and they've done what? They've just killed the last dragon, they'd go mental. There'd be marches. Idiot, bloody idiot. And that's what's interesting.
But it was going around burning people.
Doesn't matter, we shouldn't have killed the last one, it's the last one. And that's what we'd be like. You say, you should have saved it, you should have captured it and put it in a cage so we can all look at it.
There's no point, you couldn't have bred anyway, it was the last one.
Was it definitely the last one?
Well, you were saying it was the last one, I'm not bothered either way.
Hang on, what?
To me,
Sorry,
hang on. Whoa.
So you think that there were dragons?
Well, what are we celebrating then?
Well, it could be a metaphor, a dragon slayer. It could be a bad thing amongst us. It could be a foreign threat. It could be things that threaten. It could be anything. It's not to be taken literally, is it?
But the real legend of George was that he was a figure who stood up for Christianity. Have you ever done anything brave?
There was a kid at school who used to have epileptic fits a lot, and the teacher used to always say, if it happens, grab his tongue. And I sort of had a go at that once. His tongue.
His tongue?
Yeah.
What do you have a tongue for? To pick stuff up? What do you mean a tongue?
His tongue in his mouth.
Oh, his tongue.
Oh, his tongue. Yeah. Right, go on.
And they used to say, if he starts doing it, grab his tongue and that. Yeah. And I sort of had a go at that once, and it wasn't nice.
Well, how'd you grab it? You grabbed his tongue, did you?
Well, I tried to. It's like grabbing a slug. And plus his mouth's going up and down, that you think he's going to have me hand here. So you sort of do that thing where you go...
So you were trying to grab hold of a kid's tongue, yeah? And he was...
He's throwing himself all over the place. It was in a physics lesson. I sort of had a go, and then I thought, this isn't happening. So I just sort of kept putting my hand in, like I'm having a go. But in my head, I was going, I'm not going to get hold of it.
What you could have used is a pair of tongs.
Well, firstly, I don't see why this is brave. kids having an epileptic fit and you're just supposed to help them out. I don't know why that's bravery, but even given that, the fact that you were thinking more about yourself in that situation than this other kid. You were thinking, I'll make it look like I'm helping, but I'm not really. And yet this is kid having an epileptic fit.
I did at the beginning.
Doesn't
I tried.
Sum you up, Carl? Selfish.
No, it doesn't. Because no one else was having a go. At least I did try and grab it at one point.
You weren't doing anything. You were just making it look like you were.
Have you ever tried to grab a tongue? It's like chasing a chicken. It's murder. And after a while, it wears you out. And it was weird anyway, because it was like a...
What was he doing it for?
I don't know.
Wearing him out after hours of chasing this kid's tongue.
I love the idea of you ever tried grabbing a tongue. It's a valid question.
I love that he's annoyed. He's annoyed that this poor kid's having
what was your technique? Were you trying to grab it
just with your thumb and your finger, like a pincher thing?
Yeah.
But it was because his mouth's going down and.
Was he shouting or just?
No, just throwing himself around.
So that's your one attempt at bravery.
Well, hang on a minute. Let me just think. It's
trying to grab a tongue.
There was a time you were chased by a bee and you scored a goal.
I forgot about that.
That isn't really bravery, is it? As you were running away from a bee, and the ball happened to hit your foot and go in. Does that count as bravery? I love it when he goes up to the pearly gates and goes, "Well, have you done the act of courage?" I pretended to grab a tongue. A what? A tongue. Yeah. Got chased by a bee, scored a goal. It doesn't count as brave at all.
Well, what have you ever done?
Well, it's a good question.
I thought of some of them when I was a kid on the beach. There was a baby, like a toddler. I was about 12, and they were out. Their little boat was going out. The mother missed it, and they were miles out. And the mother was sort of distraught. And I swam out, and I was a good swimmer then. And I pulled it in, right? And she bought me a box of chocolates.
It's not enough, is it?
What?
It's not enough, a box of chocolates. I'd have been furious.
Really?
I'd have wanted a lot more.
I didn't expect anything.
No, it was like when I found that old lady's purse and I sent it back to her, and she sent me a little thank you note, but nothing. No cash, nothing. I was furious. I thought, come on, I could have kept that purse. I sent it back to you. I need more than a little thank you note.
I didn't expect anything. I was sort of, I wasn't even particularly proud of myself, because I just thought, well, I could just do it. I mean, if it happened now, I'd go, what's in it for me? I've just eaten.
Exactly.
I'd go, is that your kid? They're miles away. Yeah. I've got less brave. I've got more scared of the world, yeah. The things I used to do, jump off sheds, I used to jump down flights of stairs to see if I could do it, walk along, all those things that kids do. And you lose your nerve, I think, apparently if you haven't bungee jumped by your 30, you never will.
Really?
Yeah, you sort of... I think it's a sensible gene kicks in.
I'm pretty sensible.
Yeah, you think, well, this is not worth dying for. Don't do it, you know.
Yeah.
But
I think having glasses prevents me from doing a lot of things. No, seriously, because it's hard to be brave with glasses. Because if I stepped into the middle of a fight and there's people being bullied and I stepped in, my glasses come off, that's it. Now I'm just being bullied as well. But I'm also blind in this, so I'm just crawling. It's very hard to strike fear into your opponents when you're crawling around on the floor looking for your frames, going, don't tread lightly. That's 200 quid there.
Oh God, I love that when you took up judo and you think you overheard the judo instructor say, just knock his glasses off.
Just knock his glasses off.
But who are you, Woody Allen? What are you doing in this scenario? Why are you stepping into the dojo wearing a pair of glasses?
Well, how am I supposed to do judo without, where am I supposed to?
Well, they come off immediately.
But what am I supposed to do? Not do any form of martial art because of the glasses?
I don't know. Actually, I haven't thought about that.
Exactly. This is the problem, isn't it? People don't think that. You never see boxers with glasses.
Well, of course you don't.
Right, exactly. So I got no kind of athletic role models in that way, except Dennis Taylor.
Oh God, a man with glasses, me and my glasses.
It's to tell you this, I could write a book on the difficulties of having glasses.
But I suppose it's completely affected your life, hasn't it?
Of course it has.
Everything you do.
Of course it has. Absolutely. Fashion.
Yeah.
Sort of sport, dancing, moshing. Can't go in a mosh pit. I've always wanted to jump on the stage, take my shirt off and then jump back in and everyone catches you and you sort of sway along on top of everyone's hands. Can't do it, the glasses would come flying off.
But how do you swim in the sea?
I'd have to hand them to the singer and then do it. I went to, I was in India recently, I went to Goa and I got myself a pair of prescription goggles. Could not believe my luck. It's revolutionised my swimming experience.
Alright.
Goggles which have got the same lenses in as my glasses so I can see alright.
That's good.
Went in there. Literally, and they're pricey as well. Went in the water, within seconds, giant wave had come over, and it was crazy. It was like Rio all over again. It ripped off both my trunks and my goggles. They went flying off my head.
What?
Now, I can only grab one of them.
My trunks have never come off. Maybe once I've dived in, they come down a little bit.
They came loose, and they slipped down, thus revealing penis. Goggles came off.
I reckon you're like shorts, man. I think you've been doing it on purpose.
You know how most swimmers...
Tie your shorts up, Steve. No, I'm just going to see. But if they come off, if they come off, then you might see something.
You know how most swimming goggles would float? Yeah. My prescription is so dense that they just sunk straight to the bottom.
If I should die, think only this of me, that there's some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. There shall be in that rich earth a richer dust concealed, a dust whom England bore, shaped, made aware, gave once her flowers to love, her ways to roam, a body of England's breathing English air, washed by the rivers, blessed by sons of home. And think this heart, all evil shed away, a pulse in the eternal mind no less, gives somewhere back the thoughts, by England given, her sights and sounds, dreams happy as her day, and laughter, learnt of friends and gentleness, in hearts at peace, under an English heaven. Rupert Brooke, The Soldier. What an amazing poem that is.
Yeah. It's a shame you read it, though.
Thanks for listening to the Ricky Gervais Guide to the English. That's it for a little while. 5 in that series of guides too.
Plenty to be going on with.
There's also the rest of the back catalogue as well, and we might do the odd free one, but we'll be back soon anyway, with maybe another series of guides too. Who knows, Carl? Thoughts? I've enjoyed this, have you?
Yeah, my favourite ones. I like learning stuff, you know that. If I can learn something and make a few quid, I'm happy.
Unlike the people who are listening to this who are down £2 and have learnt absolutely nothing. And what they have learned from you is total bollocks. So, thanks. That's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Karl Pilkington.
Right.
To some, society is a cage, trapping and oppressing free-thinking individuals. But to others, society offers essential structure and regulation, preventing anarchy and the worst excesses of human behaviour. Each society has its own codes of conduct, ways of doing things. But who decides these social norms, and how are they governed? From the formative democracy of ancient Greece to the communist totalitarianism of Soviet Russia, history has shown us that there are as many forms of society as there are people to populate them. To discuss society and our place within it, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. You know the score. Little, round-headed twat.
Right.
In ancient Greece, every year, 500 people would be selected from that Grecian society, and they would have to sit there that year, and they would propose laws, and everyone else would vote on them. And that was their obligation. They were obliged to be one of that 500, if they'd be like jury duty, called up, and then they had to propose their ideas, and then the rest of the citizens voted on it. Now, if you're in that position, alright, you're called up, what rules and laws are you instigating?
You might go, right, I want an egalitarian society. I want freedom for people. I don't want slavery. I don't want any sort of oppression. Would that be high on your list?
Well, you could say, you know, when I worked at Cordon Bleu, there was times when I thought, being treated like a slave here.
You weren't though, because you were being paid and you were free. So.
What do you mean? I wasn't free. I was on like from 9 till 6.
Yeah, you had the choice to leave the job. Slaves didn't have the choice to leave. They wouldn't go. They go.
I didn't have any
actually,
choice.
Actually, Mr. Jackson, I'm thinking of leaving your employment.
No,
the money's no good, and I don't like the dwellings.
No.
They didn't have that choice.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you did.
The only other choice was Tesco, and they'd already turned me down.
No, that's not. That wasn't
no choice.
That wasn't the lack of choice given to most slaves.
But the slaves who built the pyramids, that wasn't an option for them. It wasn't like they could go. Well, I could get a better gig on the Sphinx.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, you're not saying anything. You're saying absolute drivel again.
Here's a little Greek proverb for you. A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in.
What do you think of that? That's amazing.
Can you say it again?
Say it again.
A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. Do you understand?
Yeah, just saying, they're planting a seed, they grow a tree, but trees take ages.
Yeah.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
That old fella's not going to get any joy out of that.
Right.
But, if he's lucky,
Yeah.
the fella next door might have done the same years ago. So it's all about, sort of, planting a seed, looking after each other.
That's great, actually. It's not, I don't think it's directly what it means.
It's almost the point.
Yeah.
That's good,
Yeah.
yeah. I think he means that future generations. But yeah, if the next door neighbour had done that, then yeah, that works as well.
But you seem to agree that that's a good point. Do you agree that seems a good point to you?
But I'm sort of guessing he enjoyed gardening anyway. Part of the enjoyment was in planting that seed.
we shouldn't have...
It's the old metaphor problem again, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
It's not specifically about trees. You know, you plant the tree, as you say, and you may never see the beauty of or the benefit of that tree, but other people will.
But as a metaphor, what he enjoyed is the fact that he's added to society and human life, and he's got a legacy and all that.
But by the same time, when I went to Ibiza, right, now there they have motorbikes, people flying round on them, people don't wear helmets. You might even get 3 people on a moped. I saw a farmer with a goat in a basket. They don't care. They're whizzing around at high speeds. A lot of deaths there.
Yeah.
And they'll have a lot of them see those areas where someone's come off, been killed, people put flowers there.
Yeah.
And because that happens a lot, it's a lovely green island. Now here, we're saying wear an helmet.
Well, you're saying that all the deaths make it nice because there's
makes
flowers.
it lovely.
'Cause there's loads of flowers
So
everywhere.
with death comes beauty. So that's another metaphor, you can have that one.
That was one of the most tortuous things I've ever... That was extraordinary.
But look at London.
That was extraordinary, Carl.
Right, Carl.
Well, look at London, though. Let me finish my point.
Let him finish his point. I'm intrigued.
Right, London, councillor with his clipboard, need a speed bump here, I saw someone doing 35. Put some traffic lights there and a pedestrian crossing. Pelican crossing there as well. And a speed camera.
Right.
Horrible and grey.
Okay.
No flowers.
But you still see flowers left behind where people have died in terrible accidents.
They're not
You
very
see that
good
all the
ones,
time.
they're stuck to a lamppost with elastic band round them. They don't look nice.
He's knowing the quality of flowers. Yeah, but the point is
Some 15-year-old got run down and you're disappointed at the quality of the flowers.
Look at this, Suzanne. Fella lost his head here. Geraniums? Geraniums? Fella lost bloody head.
Well, that's
So we have to encourage
that,
gun crime so that people will get shot in inner cities and then we can put flowers up and beautify the area. Is that what
No,
you're
but if
saying?
an area's nicer to look in, nicer to be in, if it's nicer looking, you don't get people speeding around like lunatics. Because they go, I'm not in a rush, I'd quite like to slow down
This
there and
is
look
so
at the flowers.
complicated. So now what you're saying is because an area is grey and gloomy, people speed around to get out of it. In the course of doing that, they knock people down, but then flowers are put up, which then makes the area beautiful, thus stopping people driving around at speed so death no longer occurs.
Well, they're cute to getting out of their cars to put down flowers. And
they get knocked down.
Yeah.
By other people on their way to put some flowers down.
Yeah.
Just sometimes people have to die, don't they? There was a fella outside our house who had a lamppost. He had a helmet on, but his head come off.
You made me laugh at a man's head coming up because the way you said it.
But that's the thing.
he had a, oh God, there's a man, there's a guy in a house. He had a lamppost, he had a helmet on, but his head come off.
So you're saying that because in that one instance, the helmet did not save his life.
His head was in great condition. It's just not attached to his body. And that's what I'm saying to you. Sometimes people have to die. How far do you take all this stuff of you know, safety gear and slowing down and wear bright clothes at night, and it's just too much.
Very important point, you see. We give people crash helmets, we give them, you know, seat belts, we make them wear that, right? Do you think that's right for a start? Do you think someone should be made to wear a crash helmet? They're only hurting themselves.
Crash helmet. I don't think you should get fined for not wearing one. But then if you come off a motorbike and you hurt your head and you didn't have a helmet on, then you can't sort of go, well, they should have had speed bumps there. I didn't realise we were going too fast.
Don't forget, we're not just protecting him, he could be a father with 2 kids. So you're going, oh, let him, if he doesn't want to wear a crash helmet, let him get brain damage. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, we're over the top in this country.
No, but
when it
so
comes
you're
to
saying,
that sort
if
of
you're
thing.
saying no, if he doesn't want to wear a crash helmet, let him not wear a crash helmet. He doesn't wear a crash helmet, he comes off his bike, he smacks his head in, he's a vegetable. He's like that, sitting at home like that. And yet the two little kids come to you. You're in charge, don't forget. We've put you in charge of society here. And they come to you, two little kids, they go, President Pilkington,
What?
why did you let my daddy not wear the crash helmet?
I didn't. We put leaflets through the door. We had adverts on the telly, Sunshine.
Yeah, but why?
It's your dad's fault.
But why wasn't it compulsory? Because he wanted...
It's not the world we live in, Sonny.
Yeah, now I haven't got a daddy.
Has he got an helmet at all? Have you seen an helmet knocking about?
No, he's a vegetable now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't want to wear a crash helmet, but why didn't you make him wear a crash helmet? It wasn't just him, it was us. Why did you turn my daddy into a vegetable?
Where's your mum?
Mum left when he kept going on about not wearing a crash helmet.
We'll put you in a home. I just think, you see, this is the problem. Everyone's looking for someone to blame.
Yes, but this is interesting though, because you were particularly callous to that little 4-year-old boy who seemed so sweet and adorable.
Yeah.
But why wasn't he giving this stick to his dad?
Well, his dad's dead, he's a vegetable.
He's dead,
He's good as dead to him.
His dad went within the law. It was not the law to wear a crash helmet anymore, because you said, forget it, I don't want a nanny state. I don't want... If you wear a crash helmet or not. He wasn't a responsible parent. He hadn't thought it through. But this is your job. Some people aren't responsible. Society keeps them on track. This was you were in charge. You should have made him wear a crash helmet. He had 2 kids.
We've heard from one of the kids. What's the other one's attitude? Is he younger?
He's a bit younger.
Is he even younger still?
Yeah.
President Pilkington.
Oh.
My brother's crying now, because you shouted at him. I wish you'd have made my daddy wear a crash helmet.
Why didn't you make your daddy wear a crash helmet?
Well, he won't listen to me, because I'm not in charge
He
of
didn't listen to
society.
me.
Yeah,
He
but...
seems like a bit of a numbnut, to be
No, he
honest.
did listen to you.
What did he
because
do
you made
for a
a new
living?
rule saying people don't have to wear crash helmets.
Right. What,
and he listened to you.
Did he pop shoes on in the morning when he went out? Or did
Yeah.
he need to be here to tell him to do that as well?
No, there's certain
Oh,
things
so he
he
has
did
got
do.
some common sense then?
Well, there's enough, yeah.
Oh, right, interesting.
Yeah.
So he can be bothered with his trainers, but he can be bothered with helmet.
I haven't got a daddy.
Jesus.
Wow, you are cruel to this kid. You
It's
are
just,
mean
this
to
all I'm
this
saying
kid.
is, there should be a leaflet.
I don't even know how he got in number 10, this little kid.
The thing is,
But he's got in. You should have at least a courtesy to listen to his point.
forget all, I'm sick and tired of having adverts on the telly. Don't smoke, wear an helmet, slow down, watch your kidneys, look after your
I
liver.
haven't seen that one.
Now, I don't know why. Why can't they just put a leaflet through saying, hello everyone, use your common sense?
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking.
because-
That's what I think
Because
I was
some people
president.
don't have common sense.
Everyone's
Some
got
people
common
are
sense.
fucking idiots,
Yeah,
mate.
It's not my fault
That's
then.
why there's, that's
Not
why
my
there is
fault.
a government. If we let people, they'd be fucking idiots. They'd be eating turkey twizzlers and fucking watching Big Brother and X Factor
But they
all
are
day.
doing. They are
and they're
doing.
letting their kids run riot in
But
the
they
street.
are doing. Some families do just eat turkey twizzlers.
Yeah.
There is little knobheads on bikes playing out till God knows what
Exactly.
hour. So it's happening anyway.
But
Yeah,
then-
but that's no argument, is it? It's happening anyway. That's no argument, Carl. It's what we've talked about here. Social responsibility. The reason people get into politics is because they feel it's their obligation to change those things. This is your approach. I wash my hands of the whole affair.
Yeah, I'd hope that the people who don't wear an helmet sort of do themselves in, and that's cleared them off. That's one problem sorted.
So you think you're being Darwinian? You're thinking survival of the fittest. The idiots will soon, but they don't, because they're not just the victims. The dead person isn't the victim. It's the a very good example is okay, we've talked about it before. People who smoke know that it's dangerous. We know now that smoking gives you cancer, but why is that still legal? And yet people know that and they still smoke. Fat people know that they're going to get out of breath and clammy. And yet they still eat more. They get depressed, they're eating more. They know that they're going to be constipated for a year and a half, but they're still shoving in chocolate cake instead of carrots.
But because that's what I'm saying.
Why don't we stop them? Why don't we stop fat people eating? If you've got a smackhead and you really love him, you intervene, you grab him, you put in a cupboard, you go, you're not coming out. He goes mad for about a year, then he thanks you for it.
Yeah.
So lock fat people in a cupboard. And just
can't
put
get 'em
carrots
in.
under the door. What?
The thing is, there's got to be some
Carl,
responsibility.
grab Ricky. There's a cupboard over there.
You've got to take some responsibility, haven't you? Now, if it's your own fat kid, stick him in your cupboard. But what I'm saying is, as a counsellor, I'm not spending taxpayers' money on cupboards to put the fat kid in.
So, back at the Chosen 500 in ancient Greece, right, you're one of them. What other things?
I like that saying, the one about do to others as you'd like to be treated yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Pop that on a leaflet. pop it through the door.
But you seem to be doing a lot of leafleting. That seems to be your entire governance seems to be guided by popping leaflets through doors. And I get a lot of leaflets, so I'm presuming the rest of the country does, and it's not always working. So maybe sometimes you've got to instigate something a little bit more strong-minded than fucking leaflets, my friend. Maybe you've got to make a couple of laws. You've got to stand
every
up.
individual can go, how would I want to be treated? Well, I'd want someone to throw cake at me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a greedy bastard.
I would want someone to steal my telly.
I'd probably start on the way you look.
Right, go on.
I'd just say, right, you know, make an effort, tidy up your house, and I'd have some sort of.
I'm poor.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can still tidy up.
Can we get better houses then? Because
well, look after the one that we've let you.
Yeah,
get rid of that old mattress that's in your garden there. Clean the windows, and then we might give you a nicer one. At the moment, you don't deserve anything nicer. And that's what I'm saying. You've got to be honest with these people. Wake them up.
I like that.
Sure, you've got to be honest with them. You've got to wake them up through the heavy leafleting campaign.
Yeah.
But do you see the problem with some of what you're saying, Carl, is that it's very hard to enforce that in law because it seems unjust and unfair. You can't really start legislating against people's looks or whether they want. I mean, you have to keep your house tidy. I mean, who decides how tidy it has to be? It's a tidy police. I mean, that's a strange.
Well, hold on though. I like wearing sort of these denims. It expresses who I am, and I like wearing a beard because I just think it's natural. I don't really like shaving, and I like this sort of smell. I like this smell of BO. That's who I am as a person. So how can you impose that on me just to be part of society? Who are you to infringe my rights as an individual?
What do you want out of life?
Well, no, I think I just like to say I don't want to conform. I don't want to just shave and wear a suit and I keep myself to myself, and I like to just grow a beard and eat porridge with my hands. I'm not hurting anyone, so I don't know why I have to conform to that society.
Well, there's nothing I can do for you. You're wasting my time, really.
Although I do feel ill, I need to go to hospital now. So I'm gonna go to hospital now if that's all right. Is there care for me?
Well, what's up with you?
I've got diseases from eating with my hands, and there's things growing in my beard.
Right.
So will you clean that up for me now?
No, because it's all been brought on yourself.
Well, no, but that's irrelevant. A lot of people bring things on themselves, but you can't just ignore them because it's just part on. It's a bad society.
So how do they learn then?
I don't know why I'm being punished for being stupid.
How do they learn then?
Well,
I don't understand why I've got to worry about you.
I've got
proper ill people.
Well,
you had a kid whinging at me this morning because his dad was a Hmong.
Obviously in China, you can only have one child, can't you? Is that something you feel we should bring in here?
Yeah, I think we've got to, I don't know about one kid. I just sort of concentrate on who can have a kid.
Okay.
As opposed to, if someone's got a load of money and they're good at looking after kids, let Madonna have as many as she wants. But if it's someone who's...
social engineering you want to do.
Yeah, but hold on though.
Well, what use are they then? If you're bringing them into a poor family, what's the point? What good is that for anyone? It's not good for the people who've had the kids.
So who's deciding who's allowed to have how many kids? Are you deciding?
I was brought into the poor family, wasn't I?
What?
I was brought into a poor family.
Yeah, no, I'm talking really poor.
So, third world?
No.
What, poorer than that? Poorer than no money at all?
No, somewhere in the middle again. You've gone too far the other way.
Okay,
why has it always got to go the other way?
Cornwall.
I just mean like the people who I've told you about on the estate sometimes, who had that one who chased cars and stuff. He wasn't happy. They didn't care if he was there or not. What's the point?
Right. So hang on, so let's imagine that Ricky and I are husband and wife, we've come in, right? What's your questions to us to establish whether we are allowed to have a couple of kids?
Hello. Thanks for coming.
Me and my husband, we can't have children.
Why not?
Because he's got no sperm at all.
Okay.
He had one sperm and it was ridiculous, it was awful. It just came out like a dead anchovy.
Right,
and you were meant to have 300 million tiny ones, and he had one big one. It was horrible. I had to pull it out. It was like a leech, and also I haven't got a vagina, so there was no place
completely smooth down there like an action man.
Yeah, it was just that. I don't know, but we love children, and we wondered if we could have a child.
What do you do for a living? What do you do? What's your work?
I'm a rapist.
Right.
And I dispose of the bodies.
Right. Well, fill out this form.
I should have clarified, a rapist murderer.
Fill out the form.
He does it in the wrong order as well, I must say. So, no, number of times I've disposed of the body, said I hadn't made that one.
I know. Just wondered what else you need to know about us. Because even though
that was our little joke, by the way. He doesn't rape, and
I work in an office.
He works in an office in the town.
But
I'm a housewife.
She's a housewife.
I'm making a little nest for when we adopt a little child.
We don't earn a great deal of money, but we're good parents.
We're very good parents.
What's that based on?
Well, we're good people, you know. I mean, aside from a few naughty jokes,
we're God-fearing people. We believe that God is watching all of us, and we believe in the Old Testament.
And sometimes He tells us to kill and rape.
Yeah, sometimes He does. Yeah, particularly. We've stoned a couple of homosexuals this week alone.
We're joking again.
We're joking again. We don't believe in God. We're from an atheist and believe that our time on earth is all we have, and then when we die we become worms meat.
Right. Well, you filled out.
But we've already painted the back bedroom. That's ready for the little child.
We painted it black. Because we want our child to be a Satanist.
Right.
Joking again.
Joking again.
We want him to be an accountant.
Yeah.
Gay accountant.
Some would say the same thing. Only joking, of course.
I think there's too much in society where people are pressured to be heterosexual, so we're going to try and make ours a homosexual. So we don't care whether you get a homosexual or a heterosexual, but I'll tell you, by the time he's 14, he will be as queer as the Ace of Spades.
Right, so you filled out the form.
Yeah,
we'll pop that in, get it processed.
Right. Okay, but what kind of questions are you going to ask us?
None really.
No.
Just my job.
You're happy. You're happy
my job to pass the forms on.
We've passed the interview.
Because that's the sort of world we live in now.
God. We don't want a child. We don't want a child, actually.
But do you know where we could buy a knife and a sack?
We talked about the little fella planting a tree that he will never sit under. He's given that to the next generation. Okay? Now, big discussion about donor cards. Of course, there's no reason not to give your kidneys away after your death, to all your organs. They're no good to you, and you'll be helping life. It's perverse to me that you wouldn't want to donate your body to a worthy cause after your death. Medical research, whatever. You agree with that, don't you?
Well, you know how I feel about it a little bit. I don't like the idea of certain bits.
Why not? What does it matter?
Just because there's certain bits that are really personal to you, aren't they?
No, there's not. What bit is more personal than another bit to you?
Well, like I've said, my eyes. They're my eyes. They've seen stuff I like.
Yeah,
now what happens if someone else has them, and they start looking at stuff I don't like? I don't like the idea of that.
But that's ridiculous, because your eyes they're just bits of tissue. They haven't got your
but we don't know, because they found out there's something called cellular something or other that I've told you about the person who had some sort of operation and ended up like in yellow biscuits. I've told you about.
Yeah, but that's bollocks.
It's the same thing
told
with
us
the
about
eyes.
it, but I dismissed it as bollocks immediately. Not just because you said it, because it was intrinsically bollocks.
No. But it could work the other way anyway, where the person who has my eyes starts, like, looking at ants and insects and stuff.
It's all bollocks. Again, this is all bollocks. Got none of your memories, none of your thoughts, none of your reasoning, nothing of you, none of your personality. They're just a collection of cells that now have light going through them and making this new person see. They're a lens. They're a lens. That's all they are. So there's no reason why, you know, this was the crazy thing, isn't it, when people started saying that they wanted their organs to go to a particular race of person, and obviously that's illegal. Also, it shouldn't be the choice, really. I think you should have that opting out, that you have to say that you don't want your organs given after, and if you die, then they assume that those organs are up for grabs, because there's a shortage. So what do you think of that?
Like I say, they can have certain bits. They're not having the eyes. I think that's fair.
What, can they have the cock and balls?
I'd prefer it if they didn't.
You're saying no one's going to have my eyes or my cock and bollocks.
What if the tables were turned?
Yeah.
What if someone said, Carl, you've lost your cock and bollocks in a terrible accident. It's alright, we put some flowers at the scene of it. It's brightened that area up. But, we've found a donor who's happy to give you his cock and bollocks.
He's dead, but his cock and bollocks we kept on ice.
Would you accept them?
They're absolutely lovely match.
Better than yours.
Yeah.
Bigger, younger.
Yeah, go on then, I'll have them. You'd have
So
them?
you would, you'd have someone else's cock and bollocks, but then you wouldn't donate yours to someone
But
else.
what about this? What if you discovered later, right, that the person who donated the cock and bollocks, right, was a sex pervert? was a homosexual sex pervert?
I don't think, though, that I'd bother looking into the history of these cock and bollocks.
You
It's
just
not
accept
like,
them.
you know...
You'd accept them willy-nilly, but what if you just found out by
That
chance?
was his name. That was his name, willy-nilly. That was his stage name. And
What
he'd
if you
come on and
found
show
out
him off.
by
and they-
chance?
How do I find out by chance? What's the scenario
They
there?
say, well, the doctor goes, I should tell you, I know you believe in a load of shit about yellow biscuits and bollocks like that, so I'll just tell you, in case anything goes weird, this was a sex pervert's cock and bollocks, so if you find that you're sticking these through letterboxes, don't worry, it's not your fault. It's where they wanted to have gone. That's,
Would it concern you if you accepted the cock and bollocks that had a past like that?
Yeah, because the problem is, it wouldn't be that bad if I had his eyes,
Right.
Why?
because then I'm seeing what he wants to see, and...
That doesn't
mess
make
with
any
it.
sense at all,
But-
Carl.
but
Completely.
unfortunately-
It makes no sense at all.
The match is wrong. The eyes don't go with the cock and bollocks anymore.
I don't know.
So, something's going to lose out here. Either the cock and bollocks, they're not going to get what they want anymore, or the eyes are going to be upset.
So are you scared of the idea, to go back to your yellow biscuit analogy, that the cock and bollocks you inherit, that whatever the previous owner did with them,
Lives on.
that
Bollocks.
scares you, does it?
Okay, there's one final scenario here, Carl. Okay. You haven't opted out, so your organs go to where they like. Now, unbeknownst to you, there's a big waiting list. There's a thing. They've got all your details, and you said, yeah, whatever. I don't want to know. You wouldn't want to know, would you, after you die, where it goes? You say, I don't, because you've said you don't want to know. If you don't know, you have a lovely life. When you die, they can go anywhere. They can do what they will. Okay. Now, unbeknownst to you, they have got it down. They've donated your arse, right, for use to a gay rapist with AIDS. Okay, so they are saving a life there. So when you die, they go, right, it's still warm, get that gay rapist with AIDS round here, because that's going to stop him raping someone, give him AIDS. He comes round, he's straight up there. He's shagging you, right? You're basically saving a life, right? By letting him do that, right?
Sorry, I'm confused here.
What?
Why is the gay rapist with AIDS got the arse? What's
No,
he doing?
he's still connected to Carl. They've donated the arse, so when Carl dies, the doctors go, right, we're going to stop a terrible thing here.
So the gay rapist can shag the arse?
he shags, comes round, he shags Carl, gets out of his system and goes, phew, that stopped me.
Yeah.
Right? Okay? Right, so
it's just Carl's disembodied arse on the...
No, it's the whole Carl.
Oh,
They
is that
go,
what Carl's dead?
So Carl gets struck, he's having a heart attack. They go, free, clear. They go, no, we've lost him. At 10:01, they go, oh, he's a arse donor. And they go, okay, where's the nearest gay rapist with AIDS live? Next door. Get him round here. They go, okay, the gay rapist comes round and goes, where is he? Right? He goes, there he is, right? So Carl is face down. Now they turn him over, they go, there's the arse, you've got 10 minutes, then we got to bury him.
I'm surprised you didn't know this guy was living next door.
Right. So, the gay rapist gets on top, he goes, right, this is lovely, right? He's loving it, he's shagging you. Right, now, this is the weird thing. The doctors next door, they go, okay, the gay rapist will be finished soon, and then we have to bury him, but we should inform his next of kin. They go, oh, it's Suzanne. They go, your husband's, dead, he's out of touch. She goes, oh my god, come round and just identify the body. I'd leave it a couple of minutes, but, then come round. She goes, oh god, I'll be right there. So Suzanne's on her way. The gay rapist, right? He's pummeling you away, right? But you will not believe this.
Oh my god.
The movement and the way he's shagging you, right, has started your heart.
Oh, wow.
Right?
This is a stroke of amazing good fortune.
Right? So you go, he goes, right? He, right, has a heart attack. Right? And he flops down on you. He just like headbutts the back of your head. So now, you're both naked, this gay rapist is up your arse, he's dead, right? The shock is you go, fuck me, how can I get out of this, right? You wriggle, you fall onto the floor. So now, he's on the bottom, face up, you're on top of him, he's still in you. His cock is up your arse, you're sat on him, wriggling, Suzanne walks in, goes, Carl, what the fuck are you doing?
She's heard about me being dead, and because she's come to the hospital.
She goes, and they go, he's in there, and she goes, he's not dead, I can see him. They go, oh, because with the terrible. She bursts in, there you are, on top of him, wriggling to try and get his knob out your arse, right? You're sitting on a man who's dead. What do you say?
I'd just say we got to join Booper.
Very hard, isn't it, to imagine yourself a different period in time and how you would have reacted. Now, if you think about America in the 1950s, black people still very much second-class citizens. You've obviously heard of the famous Rosa Parks incident, in which she was obliged to move on the bus from where she was sat to somewhere else, and she chose not to, and she was arrested for it. It became very much a sort of figurehead of the civil rights movement. Had you been travelling on that bus,
what would you do?
And am I far from where I'm getting off?
So once again, you can't just nip out at the next stop so you can wash your hands of the whole affair. No, you're on that bus, you've still got a number of stops. You live further away than Rosa does, because you've got a lovely big house, whereas obviously she doesn't have a lovely place, she can't afford it. So you've got to stay on that bus. You've seen this now, you've seen this bus driver demanding that she gets up, gives up that seat. Maybe she's given up that seat for you. Maybe you've got on that bus as a privileged white man, and she refuses to get up on your behalf.
I'd probably go, it's alright, I'm standing, I'm alright.
But why would you say that? Because you're thinking of the modern day Karl, you're not thinking of the man from the 1950s.
Well, the thing is, we don't have to go back in time. We can go to a country now where you'd see an injustice, where you were outnumbered by the law of the land. What if Suzanne wasn't allowed to sit with you on buses? What if now a law came in that women were second-class citizens and she can't come with you? Wouldn't you go, no, fuck that, she's sitting with me?
I'd say we're only going around the block. We've been to the shopping centre. Be home in 15 minutes. Can you take that bag with you? Because there's no one sat next to you down here. I'm a bit crammed in up here. There's more blokes on the bus. I'll see you in a minute. It's not a big issue. I've done it on the train, where I've booked tickets and they've ended up being different tickets. And I've gone, I'll see you in an hour and a half. I've got an iPod.
But
so you went first class and she was in the
that's luck. That's luck. That's circumstance. One is policy. Surely you can see the difference between a principle and a bit of luck.
But it's what you get used to at the end of the day. I mean, I'm not walking past them and slapping them on the back of the head. I'm getting on, and it's just that's where they sit, that's where we sit. Like men and women going into a separate toilet.
Karl, let's put this to I mean, obviously, this is too much for your head to... You're on a bus, right, and there's a few white people, and they're...
I'm the driver.
And they're being racist to a black kid.
Right, I'd go, if I'm driving, I'd go, listen, lads, stop that, will you?
If you're going to be racist, can you get off at the next stop and do it there?
Well, you know, we've all had a tough day. It's the end of the day. We just all want to go home. We've all been working. Right. He's not in your way. He's sat in his own seat. Sit back. Calm down. Had enough.
But what if they said, no, we usually sit there, we want that seat? Would you think the black kid's a troublemaker? Or just would you go, come on, just move, mate, it'd be peaceful?
I'd go, what do you want to do? Do you want to move so this is calm down? Or
No, you shouldn't say that. He doesn't matter if he wants to move or not. It's his right not to move.
Do what you want, then. If you want to stay there and fight your own corner.
No. He wants to stay there. Don't you surely you want to be on the side of right.
I'm just doing my job here. I'm sat driving a bus. I'm driving a bus for 30 quid a week here. I'm getting a load of grief off some people at the end of the day.
But think bigger than the bus rule. It's not just a bus thing, alright? Just imagine that you're not a bus driver. Alright,
no, but that's what we're talking about here.
But yes, but Ricky's trying to make a point. It's an analogy again. It's about you taking some kind of responsibility that could put you in harm's way. Yeah. That could mean that you've got to stand up to danger or to bullies or to aggression.
If someone's attacking Suzanne, she goes, Karl, help. You go, no, I could get her here.
Because I know the full story here. But this is what I'm saying about Rosie, what's it? I'm just saying, she sat on the bus. How did it work? She got on the bus, she sat where she wanted.
No, I'll tell you how it worked. The middle section of the bus, black people could sit there, but it was up to the driver's discretion to change where black people could sit, depending on the number of white passengers that got on. So she sat in a seat, some more and more white passengers get on, so this bloke decides, well, no, actually, this is no longer the black section, there is no black section, because there's enough white people, you've got to stand up.
Right.
And she decided, no, I'm not going to get up. It's my right to be able to sit on this bus, as a person, as a human being, not whether or black or white. And that was why she got arrested.
Well, she lost in the end, didn't she?
What do you mean she lost in the end? There's a black president.
Yeah, but it's not because of her getting on a bus. That's just because times changed.
Yes, in a way it is.
I don't know.
Because she became a spearhead of the civil rights movement that was spearheaded by Martin Luther King.
All those little things go towards change.
On a different bus, on a different day, it might not have turned out that way. That's what I'm saying. It might have been, you know, someone else who goes, get off, who's been in a right mood, might have been in the pub all afternoon. And she's there going, I'm not moving, and he's fed up, he's up to here with it.
Sorry, so she's pissed up now?
She's pissed up now.
No, the person sat next to her.
Yeah.
Might have even been a black bloke. He's been working hard, and he's like, I don't want this.
But it's interesting you say
The
that.
bus pulls over, the police are called in.
But you say it's interesting you say that because in the Rosa Parks incident, there were a number of other black men, all of whom did stand up. I think 5 of them were there, and 4 of them stood up, and she stayed sat down. So there was 4 people there who did choose the easier route, the easier life, and she stayed sat down, and she's the one who went to prison, and she's the one who's remembered because of what she did on that day.
It's difficult, isn't it? If I was on there, I'd weigh her up. You know, is this woman doing this as like a good cause, or is she just a trouble causer? Because she just seemed like, you know, I'll do what I want. Now that's fine. You'll always get people who do what they want, and they do change the little rules along the way. But I bet when she was doing it, it wasn't like a big stand up, this is the day I'm going to do it. It's just happened to, she was fed up that day, she didn't want to get up. Lazy. She might just go around law breaking all the time, and she's remembered now because she'd made a change about bus seats. Well, when she got up that morning, did she say I'm going to do that, or has she been fly tipping before she got on the bus? This is what I'm saying. Is she just a you know?
No, she's not a troublemaker. She's someone who already had a burgeoning interest in the civil rights. I mean, I really thought the Rosa Parks incident was pretty cut and dry.
The
fact that Karl's managed to find an ambiguity in it is extraordinary.
I love it.
Tell me something else about Rosie Parks.
Oh, for God's sake. I don't know what she's got to do to win you round, Karl. Honestly, I didn't realise it would be this difficult.
Karl, Thomas Jefferson, you know who he is, once observed, a nation as a society forms a moral person, and every member of it is personally responsible for his society. But Jefferson's fellow countryman, as you know, the American writer and intellectual Randolph Bourne, noted some years later, society is one vast conspiracy for carving one into a kind of statue it likes, and then placing it in the most convenient niche it has. So one saying, no, this is why we're moral people. The society is great for us. It turns us into responsible people, okay? And we should love that society and make sure it's perpetuated. But Bourne said, no, it's just a way to mould someone into what it likes and put it into a little box so it can't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's not, again, it's...
No,
Which
both of them are right.
Both of them are right, but they're contradictory.
They're both opinions.
They're certainly opinions.
But I mean, I don't know why I am the way I am. It just happens, doesn't it? You know, I don't like killing a fly. No one would stop me if I did. But there's something in me that goes, don't do that.
Right, so this is a very important theory, because you're basically saying, well, you could be saying one of two things. You could be saying that goodness is innate.
Not likely.
No. Or he could be saying that there's a morality that transcends rules and society pressure. Whether or something's legal or not doesn't mean that you have to do it because it's legal, and it doesn't mean you don't... Yeah? Is that the one you meant?
That's what I meant. There was a bit of trouble in our yard the other day.
Right.
Between a wasp and a cricket.
No, the thing is there any point to this at all, or are you just going to tell us you saw...
Are you going to extrapolate some analogy from this?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah,
well, let's see. So there's a wasp...
Yeah, well, so look at the whole scenario. The whole scenario, right?
As you said, sorry, just to clarify, as you said, it was kicking off.
Right, okay.
Whole scenario.
So you're looking out your window.
No, I'm in the kitchen by the sink.
Yeah.
Washing up, we've got a new sink. We've got a dishwasher as well, but I said, well, I'll use a sink, we paid for it. Let's give it a go.
So you're like a Luddite threatened by the technology. You're thinking your worth will be taken away, your reason in the world will be taken away by the dishwasher. So you're no, Suzanne, we've got a dishwasher, but I am going to carry on. You're going to need me. I want to show I'm needed.
I wanted to use it. It's like, I don't understand it if someone's got a really nice car, but they have a chauffeur. Drive it. It's yours. Enjoy it. Enjoy your car.
Well,
feel a gear change. Yeah, but you don't drive.
No, I know.
Yeah, so that's alright. But what I'm saying is, I've got a sink, I've got a dishwasher. What am I doing? If I put the dishwasher on, what am I going to do? I'm just going to sit down and do nothing. Probably. Wash up then. Do something useful. I do a better job than the machine does.
Well, get rid of the machine altogether then?
No, because sometimes I might want to go for a walk or something.
Well, why don't you go for a walk all the time? It's good for you.
I'd had a walk in the morning. Anyway, so, I'm washing up.
That was all the prelude to the wasp and the cricket story. It better be fucking good to top that.
His life's so complicated. For a man who does nothing at all, right, his life is so complicated.
No, because it's the same thing. The kitchen's fairly new.
Alright, you're washing up for Christ's sake.
You're using a new sink, the dishwasher's there, it's not doing anything, it's not even plugged in, it's pointless. What's going on?
I'm washing up the few plates.
Right.
The kitchen door's open.
Right.
Suzanne says, oh my god, look at that.
What?
There's a wasp and a cricket having a wrestle. I've never seen it before.
Right.
Wait! Are you sure this wasn't Mexican television and it actually was a sporting event?
Dressed up.
Yeah.
So they're there, wrestling. And I was like, well, stop them then. So
Whoa! You don't interfere with fucking Rosa Parks. Why are you interfering with a wasp and a cricket?
Because one, I didn't even know they didn't get on, to be honest.
So this is much bigger metaphor than black and white.
Because listen,
this is more important than apartheid and segregation, Tim.
I didn't even know they didn't get on, to be honest. Because they were sort of wrestling. I said, and my hands were wet, so I couldn't do anything. I always overdo it with the fairy liquid.
Yeah, sure.
So she's there. I say, separate them.
Poor Suzanne.
Now, so she uses a tea towel, flicks them.
Flick. Clever.
No.
Good thinking.
The wasp goes its own way. The cricket's sort of jumping about a bit.
But who was fighting who?
So I'm sort of saying that is really weird, because wasps are changing quicker than anything else that I keep my eye on.
Okay, well that's just your theory and it's not based on anything.
Well, I told you a couple of years back I saw one eating chicken. They shouldn't be doing it. So anyway, so now they're causing trouble with a cricket.
Whoa, how do you know it was the wasp's fault? This is prejudice. Why do you think it was the wasp's fault? What if the cricket would have started it? What if the cricket's got a society that go, we hate wasps, we hate their stripes. We hate them. If they come here, fight them. If everyone comes down here, fight them. How do you know it wasn't the cricket that started that?
Well, I suppose at that time I didn't, but since...
Oh, subsequent information's
come
through.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
so anyway...
It's like Columbo, isn't it?
So I saw all that, we broke it up, the cricket was sort of shaking a bit.
Definitely not! Definitely not!
It was shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
So I sort of prodded it, put a little leaf over it because it was a hot day. Thought I'll put a leaf there so it doesn't get overheated.
I love this, like it's done the marathon. It's got a little, it's got Mars on the leaf, written on the leaf, and now it's just walking over the little medal.
So Suzanne, I'd leave it for a bit.
Leave it.
On.
What did you say?
Half an hour, about left it for half an hour.
What did Suzanne want to do? She wanted to interfere, did she? What did she want to do? Just sort of like...
No, she just sort of said, leave it, stop messing with it. It's probably a little bit knocked out, a little bit stunned.
Sure, let's get on with our lives, she said, yeah.
So, I put the leaf on it.
You've put in too much very liquid. Why don't we use the dishwasher? Cost us 400 quid, you dirty bald cunt.
So we go off, and half an hour later, I get back in, I said, I'm gonna go and see the
Where'd
cricket.
you go?
Just for a walk.
But hold on, why didn't you put the dish in the dishwasher and go for a walk? I don't understand. So now now as a dishwasher sitting there bone idle, you're washing up when you could be walking, and then you're still
walking. Well, it's a good job I didn't go for a walk though, wasn't it? Because how would that have turned out?
That fight?
I don't know.
There would have just been a pool of blood on your back door. Porch.
So I've been out, back in, have a look, cricket's still there, noticed one of its legs gone.
Oh.
Don't know if the wasp did that, or the tea towel flick.
Or it was already disabled and that's why the wasp thought this is an easy one. What if the wasp was helping it?
It wasn't, no, honestly.
But what
it was such a commotion.
Because we're such friends and humans don't understand us and anyone interfered will definitely don't understand us, right? He's not an entomologist, right?
Well, this is when I got the computer out.
Right.
Had a look. And it's a, what was it called?
Brilliant.
I can't remember. What happened is, the wasp apparently does this a lot. And it stings them in the head.
Right, not this particular. There wasn't like a little profile of this particular wasp.
Yeah.
On a kind of
It's just an incident that
Just
happens a
generally
lot
happens within
between
wasps,
wasps and crickets.
Right.
So it stung it in the head, and what happens is it's that whole thing that we've talked about before, where it lays an egg.
Right.
So I was sort of having a look, seeing if I could see any sort of holes in its head, and it just kept sort of moving its one leg, like, oh, I can't handle this. So
What do you mean it's moving its one leg?
it was sort of just moving its one leg quite slowly, like it's just come
It's only
out
got
from
one
an
leg, but it's
operation.
lost one leg, you said?
Yeah, it's lost one.
Yeah, it's moving 5 legs slowly.
No, it's just its one big one.
We've got one big leg.
One big leg at the back now. It's normally got 2 that it uses to jump.
Oh, I see. So, okay.
So it's now it's
Right.
only got one. It's sort of like, oh, it looks groggy.
Is it not a grasshopper if it's jump? Is it like, what colour was it? Was it like,
Sort of beige.
oh, it's probably a cricket, yeah.
So anyway,
It's important.
So you were worried that crickets aren't aware of the dangers of wasps. You did a bit of leafleting amongst the cricketing community.
I just had a look online and saw that, it's a popular thing that happens. It's sort of like a bit of a mugging. He said you can leave them for about half an hour. They normally come round and they don't know they've had an egg put in their head. But
There's no way it said leave them for half an hour and they come round, they don't have an egg, but there's no way it said
Well,
that.
he said they're normally stunned for about half hour.
Have you had an egg put in your head?
Fucking ostrich egg, by the look of it, it's coming out the top.
So anyway, I picked it up, I placed it under a little tree. I said it's in the shade again. No wasps can see it there. Let's just leave it.
But you've just left that cricket to now die in agony when that maggot goes round his head and comes out a wasp and leaves the carcass.
Well, this is when Suzanne came up and said it wasn't moving. I sorted it.
What do
You
you mean?
sorted it.
She sorted it.
What did
You
you
don't wanna
want
say
to do?
anything
What
else.
did you mean?
Well, I said, what do you mean you sorted it? She said, oh,
Read
it's
between
best
the
that I
lines.
don't tell you.
Well, sorry,
I've done.
sorry, but,
She said she sorted it.
wait. Do you think that we're in the mafia and we're being wiretapped? Say what happened.
No, well, she just said she sorted it, and I said, what, sorted what? Because I'd forgotten about it at that point, I was painting. And she
Right.
said the cricket.
Right, what do you think she meant by sorted it?
Well, by the look on her face, the way she said it, I've known her for long enough, so I know that she meant it's not good news.
Yeah, so what happened?
So from that, I took for granted she means
Say it!
I've stopped it being, it's no longer in misery.
So what do you mean?
What?
What did she do?
She crushed its head. Because she said it was
What,
moving about
specifically just the head? She just crushed the head.
with a stone.
She got a tiny head-shaped stone and
Squashed it. Because that's where all the action is, isn't it? So she said it was too cruel watching it, sort of shaking about with its one leg and stuff. You had to kill it.
I imagine I had this vision that one day Suzanne just having to say to his parents,
I sorted it.
I sorted it. I had to put him out of his misery. I just couldn't bear to see the
You don't
twitching
like to know,
anymore.
do you?
I know you didn't like to know, but
Yeah.
I just took a rock.
Yeah, and just squashed its head. What was in it? There was nothing in it. Nothing in it. It just caved in.
Was there an egg in it from a
No.
from a
No,
wasp?
it was like you know when you get a blown egg and then you crush it and there was nothing. Yeah, nothing in it at all. Nothing in it
But I
at
just
all.
think he seems happier. I'm certainly happier.
I was happier because I'm much happier because he's sort of he's more sensible without the head.
Yeah, we're still happy together, but now we use the dishwasher instead of him washing up.
Yeah.
When we've already got one that costs £400. What metaphor are you taking from this?
Just the way,
Yeah, so that's at the beginning. There was going to be a point you were going to extrapolate for this, like a fable. So what did you learn from that?
I thought I was doing right at the time. And
Well, that's it,
that's
isn't it?
important, isn't it?
And is it objective or subjective? You know, one person's evil is another person's good. Some people think abortion is the worst thing you could do. Others think it's a woman's right, and it's a kindness. It's some people think that you should never kill under any circumstances. Other people say that some killing is morally right. Again, should an action be judged on its intent or its result? If someone said to you, "Oh, I thought I was doing a good thing," but, you know, they opened the windows and your cat fell out. I thought they didn't even know you had a cat.
Did they knock it though, or did it just jump out?
It just jumped out.
Well, I'd say it's not my fault. Your
No.
cat's daft.
No.
It was hot in here. I've
Right.
opened the window.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not getting the blame for that.
No, that wasn't my point, was it? That if you open the window, right, and they come home and you go, oh my god, the cat jumped out and killed itself. You go, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I opened the window, because I wanted to let some air in. I was doing a good thing.
So did I know it jumped out?
No.
I'd probably say, you sure they didn't do that before I got here this morning? Did you have the window open?
Right.
I don't think looks like it's been there a while.
So
That's a bit
already,
hard.
you instantly don't want to be culpable for your own actions.
I mean, it is
Hang
your
on a
fault.
minute, it wasn't me who did it.
It is your fault the cat's dead.
yeah, it's an accident, but nevertheless, it's still your
Oh,
fault.
if it's definitely me, yeah, I'd say, yeah, it jumped out. I opened the window because it was hot in here. The cat jumped out, dead. Let's go and get another one.
Right.
I wouldn't worry that much about a cat.
Right. But what if it was a baby?
Well, it's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it is. Carl, I'd like to ask you, if I may, stop twiddling that. Now, this is interesting, you were fiddling with a bit of plastic there, and it was annoying me, and I know that a lot of things annoy Ricky, get very infuriating for him. Social etiquette. Now, that's a very, that's not obviously inscribed by law. These are just things which have built up in society. So, for instance, it's impolite to sneeze and then shake someone's hand.
Yeah.
It's...
Or sneeze straight in their face and go, oh, sorry, I've got swine flu.
Now, those things are obviously good practice in terms of avoiding the spread of disease, so that makes sense. But other things
Also,
are
it just
more
might just be
arbitrary.
disgusting. If someone hasn't got a disease, I don't like to see someone sneeze on the pavement or sniff or scratch their arse.
So social etiquette, I mean, how do you decide... I mean, what prevents you from being truthful and honest at all times?
I don't know, there's something in you, and sometimes you can just pop it out, can't you? I've been in a situation when I've said stuff and I've thought, why did I say that?
Go on.
But it's not always... in the dentist. Last time I went to the dentist, I was sat in the reception bit, big fat woman comes up the stairs, massive she was, had a right sweat on.
Right.
She gets there, and...
Out of breath.
yeah, she was, again, you know, I mean, she was friendly, dead friendly, but kind of like, you know, leggings on, sort of, you know, shoes but not on properly. She was stood on the heel.
Yeah,
You know, like she couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
It's like greasy hair. And she went up and she's being all happy and everything. And I think that's what annoyed me. So when she sort of said, oh yeah, I've lost weight, she was talking to the woman behind the counter. And she sort of said, yeah, I find it really difficult, especially living where I live and having to come down this high street because there's so many cake shops and everything. And she sort of said, you know, today I've walked past, normally I always have a coffee and a donut, but today, you know, I didn't have a coffee and a donut. And I just said, why was it shut? Right?
No, you didn't.
I did, honestly. Honest to God, on my mum's life. I said, why was it shut? She said, oh,
Hold
you
on,
know.
why did you butt in? She wasn't even talking
Honestly,
to you.
I know, it's really, really weird. It's
Wait,
really
did you have
weird.
to shout across the dentist waiting room, or were you
No,
stood
it was
next
just,
to
it's a small waiting room, so you got the stairs, you go in, you've got about 4 chairs, and then this old desk, and I get on with the woman behind the counter, and I always sit close to it, and it was just me there, and I was talking to her about going to Corfu or something. She comes in sweating like some bison up the stairs, and she's there, and because she was showing off, it was like, well, you should have done it a long time ago. I think she annoyed me that she wanted some sort of pat on a big hefty fat back. That she hadn't bothered having a donut that day. Now, maybe it's the inner me that just came out, because I remember saying it and actually getting home saying to Suzanne, oh, I said this, and I didn't even think I don't know
I know
where
what
it
you mean,
came
though.
from.
Sometimes you want to go around with people, and they're going, oh, I need, you want to put them down. You want to go, I'm stocking out with you, because you're going to go straight back to that, you can do this, that, you know, I know you've had a lot, just inject them in the head, absolutely pointless, get rid of it. Yeah, I know what you mean. But talking about social etiquette, I was in flying to, Edinburgh, and I was with, Matt, my, assistant, and, there was a bloke on a mobile phone across the way, right, he's going, yeah, I'm just gonna get on the plane now. And he kept talking that loudly to people, right? And I was fuming. Then he stopped and made another call, and I was giving him dirty looks, and Matt was going, no, sit down, son. And then he was going, in the airport, and I shouted, he's in the airport! He didn't notice, I was shouting over, I was fuming, and Matt was just getting so embarrassed.
But they don't see it, though.
And people were looking at me like I was the mental case.
Yeah.
But it was so fucking loud, and I moved through to another place. But I wanted to get someone, I wanted to be policed, I want to go, right, there's a cunt over there swigging beer, thinks he's a fucking Gordon Gekko player, and he's not, he's some cunt who's got his first mobile phone. Right? But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is infringing. That's like passive smoking to me.
Yeah.
It annoys me when you hear these awful middle-class parents talking to their kid loudly enough to let everyone know what their kid knows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They bring up conversations because they're showing off about the kid. Toby, what's that you were saying earlier about you preferred Beethoven to... Right, okay, if that kid talks about Beethoven and Chopin, right? Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
It's like people showing off, thinking that the world is interested in everything they fucking say. That thing about, everyone's got access, which is fine, but it's those fat fucking morons on docu-soaps that go, I speak as I fucking think, you useless fucking blob of shit.
Yes. Have an education, research, think, discuss, then offer your opinion.
And stop your kids chewing on a fucking big ball of fat. Your leg.
Got someone specific in mind there?
Well, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the Ricky Gervais Guide to Society. I think we've sorted everything out there, Steve.
Yeah, not many questions left unanswered.
No, that's a pretty in-depth analysis of what society is and how to improve it, I think, in many ways.
Let's hope some of the big people are listening. Brown, Obama.
And they go, okay, what's Pilkington got to say? Keep out of it. Unless it's an insect. So it's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And from the little round-headed simian type thing we call Karl Pilkington. The next audiobook in this series is the Ricky Gervais Guide to Law and Order, and that will be available from the 1st of December. Easy date to remember. World AIDS Day. I knew it wouldn't take off like Christmas.